This is my airplane. It's called the Apprentice Spectrum. I mean, just Apprentice, excuse me. This was taken at the Hunting Creek Field in Wilkesboro. That's myself and Ken. I've got the camera tail mounted this time. Just a little different picture here. I'm taking off on the flight. Again, Ken is basically my backup instructor. If I get in trouble, he can take over. He's got that an extra what's called master control that will instantly take control of the plane. And so far I've been able to stay up basically on my own, but I do get in trouble once in a while, especially when I go to the what we call the intermediate and level, which is a lot harder flying level. Right now I'm on the what's called the beginner mode, which is pretty easy to fly. It's basically it's called a safe system. Like I said, I'm kind of stuck on it right now, but I'm improving. I flew a lot of this flight you're looking at now is in the intermediate section, so I am getting better. Again, I'm up about 300 feet here, 300 feet, and you can see that I'm basically making pretty good turns. It's not rough or you know, up and down top motion that I was getting into. This video is basically a good system. This camera I've got, it's called a run cam. I had a problem with the sound on it, the propeller sound, so what I did was I basically had to turn the sound off on the camera, so all you get is black film, but that's why I add narration to it. I'm about 1.5 minutes into it now. Each film lasts about 5 minutes, so that's when I put two together to make a total flight. Because most of my flights last anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20 minutes. This one happens to be about 20, but again, I cut out the middle section of it, so you're going to see the first half of it and the last half. The plane, for information, is basically has a wingspan of 60 inches. The body itself is 40 inches long. It's powered by a 3200 cell, what's called 3-cell battery, lasting anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes. And most I don't go over near 20 because I don't want to push my luck. I hadn't flown in 2 weeks, so this is a little rusty, so I did surprise myself how well I did. I did have a couple of problems, but you'll see those on later films. Just let you watch a little bit. You can see again. This is a pretty overcast day. It rained at the house when I left, but we thought it might be rain when we got there, but it had no rain at all when we got to Wilkesboro. So it was dry the whole time. Overcast is good for flying because you don't have to look into the sun, and it's easy to lose this plane when you look into the sun. And you don't want to lose where the plane's at, because they'd be surprised how quick they get in trouble if you're not watching it. This is the road entrance that comes into the flying field. Actually, the road you're looking at now goes to a house down below the field. You see the road to the left is actually goes to the field. You see there's our clubhouse there, building there, and the rows of what they call pit stop, or actually called the pit area, where you have a station where you put the planes together. The runway itself is approximately, as we get to here in just a minute, you got to look at it a little better when we come back around again. It's made of cement, and as you can see, like I said, it'll give you a few more minutes to turn the plane around. So I'm not talking again. You just look at this plane. Now come down the road again, and the runway should come into vision pretty soon. It's approximately 400 feet long, the runway is, and it's 10 feet wide. It sounds like a big area, but you'd be surprised how hard it is to hit that runway. Because with crosswinds and everything you get, and of course the controls on these planes, and you have to signal, and it's just a fraction of the little difference in when you signal to do something and it's actually doing it. So you have to basically think ahead. You always got to pay attention. On a normal controller that I have, there are approximately 2 main switches. The one on the right controls the ailerons and the elevator. Ailerons and and the one on the left controls the throttle and also the rudder, which is The elevators, like I said, are very important. The rudder's not quite as important as the ailerons. I mean, you can use the rudder to turn. You get a faster turn if you use the banked wings and use the rudder. But for as far as slow, gentle turn, the rudder works real well for that. You can see in this picture that the rudder, which is the back of the tail section, there's like a fin. It's not moving all that much because you really don't move it that much. Most of the motion that occurs in ailerons, that's the little things in the wings that flap up and down to change. You see it flipped up a little bit there when I flipped a little to the right a little bit. This film is just about over. When it's up, of course, you switch to the other film, then you'll see a little bit more. The sky was real pretty today. Again, like I said, it's much easier to fly when you have an overcast sky because you can see the plane easily against the backdrop of the clouds. Basically, I'm trying to learn to make slow, gentle turns. Sometimes I turn too quick, and if you do that, then you'll get a dive going, and you have to up the elevators to make it go up, and it makes a rough flight. It doesn't look good. Ken's always telling me that I've got to have a lighter touch. I'm always pressing too hard. Gotta hit it easier. See him come getting across the runway there. This field here is a soybean field. On one of my later flights, you'll find out how it is to land in the soybean field. That happened to me when I hit the wrong button. So this is now a second film you're into now. It's the same flight. It's just that the camera automatically stops every 5 minutes and starts a new film. That makes it easier to edit and easier to take out parts you don't want to. If you have a bad one section, just take it out. But that's not even. And you always erase it. The area's real pretty over here at the Hunting Creek RC model flying area. Like I said, they have plans now to build a new road into it. The road looks right good right there, but going through the woods is pretty rough. When you come on the upper end, you're looking there. And there's some other problems too, but we won't get into that. I'm downrange now pretty far. I'm making a turn coming back. This is called making a right-hand turn bank and come back around. I'm sweeping it back around again. I'm trying to make more loops and faster loops, and with still control. That takes a lot of practice. I'm coming up on almost 7.5 minutes now on this film. The plane's been very good. I had like I said, I'll make a video of a problem I had, and you'll see later on that for some unknown reason, one of my flights, the throttle suddenly stopped working and lost all power. Ken tried to use the master control. It went out on it too. Nothing worked. So he was able to glide it in and save it. It landed at the edge of the soybean field, but it wasn't hurt. Later on, the same thing. I had a little trouble with the throttle stuck open. It was going exactly what I did or what happened. Anyway, I landed, and all of a sudden it took off again. And time I could control it, it landed in the soybean field and chopped down a couple of soybeans. But again, hope to have that film back up, and you can see it too. When this downloads and finishes, then I'm going to try to put it to YouTube. Hope they'll come and you'll be able to see it for everybody to be able to see it. I never tried using the tail-mounted camera, but that works pretty good. It makes a pretty good picture. Makes it interesting. You get a pretty good idea how level the plane's flying. Or it's throughout the front, you really can't tell that. But in this case, you can see that I'm doing pretty good. This motion, like I said, almost just using the bank to turn, not using much rudder, and I come in and you can see the low sweep around the end of the field. This is over the end there. Right now I'm still flying a little too high. This is for me, because one thing, of course, high is safer. You got time to make corrections if you get in trouble. But it's also harder to see, and you get a good chance to run into the sun. So if on a sunny day, as far as the blinding light from the sun. But again, like I said, it's wind as the sun comes up, the wind gets a little bit, and you can see it's kind of move around a little bit. Now the wind's starting to blow a little bit, and these planes are so light that it doesn't take much wind at all. You really got to stay on it to keep it level. I think the total weight of the plane loaded but that's include the battery, which weighs most of it, is probably maybe 3 pounds total. So it's not that heavy. That's why it flies so easy. It takes off in just a few feet. You can see when it took off,